Hi, I am Sage. 3 months ago, my husband Mike died in a car accident, and I've been living in a fog ever since. People keep saying it gets easier, but they're full of crap. It doesn't get easier. You just get used to the pain. I was finally cleaning out Mike's home office today. Couldn't put it off anymore. His coffee mug still sat on the desk, half empty and growing something nasty. The calendar still showed April 12th, the day before he died. You really should think about selling this place, Sage. It's too big for just you, and the market's hot right now. That's Vanessa, Mike's sister, who's been helping me sort through his things, more like hovering like a vulture. I'm not ready to talk about selling yet, Vanessa. This is still my home. Don't be stubborn. Mike would want you to be practical. And while we're at it, Richard mentioned you should consider selling Mike's share of the business too. Clean break and all that. I remember how Mike and I picked out this desk together. Solid oak, he called it, investment furniture. As I ran my fingers along the edge, something felt off. The bottom drawer didn't seem as deep on the inside as it looked from the outside. Vanessa, can you grab us some water? I'm getting a headache. Once she left, I examined the drawer more carefully. False bottom. Classic Mike. Always had a flair for the dramatic. Inside were 3 unmarked keys on a plain ring and an envelope. The doorbell rang, saving me from Vanessa's return. It was Ellie, my best friend since college, armed with takeout. Brought your favorite. How's it going in the Batcave? Just uncovered one of Mike's secret hidey holes. Ellie's eyes darted to the keys in my hand. What are those? Not sure yet, just found them. Interesting. You know, if you find any of those vintage watches Mike collected, I'd be happy to help you appraise them for insurance purposes. That was the 3rd time Ellie had mentioned Mike's watches. Weird. Richard called while we were eating lunch. Hey, Sage, just checking in. Did you get a chance to look at those papers I sent over? I'm still working through them, Richard. Some of the numbers seem off. Don't worry your pretty head about it. Grief can make simple things seem complicated. Trust me to handle it. After everyone left, I sat alone with the keys, turning them over in my hand. That's when I noticed writing inside the envelope, an address I didn't recognize. Mike and I told each other everything. Or so I thought. What didn't I know about my husband? I remember our last anniversary. Mike held my face between his hands and said, Sage, you're the only one who really knows me. Was that a lie? The keys felt cold against my palm. Whatever these opened, Mike had kept it secret. And now I had to decide if I wanted to know what my dead husband was hiding. I clutched the keys tightly, my wedding ring clicking against the metal. Tomorrow, I would find out what's at 1420 Westlake Avenue. 1420. Westlake Avenue turned out to be one of those self-storage places on the edge of town. The morning sun beat down on the rows of identical orange doors as I tried each key. The 3rd one clicked. The unit was small but packed floor to ceiling with boxes. Mike's handwriting labeled each one meticulously. Financials 2022. Private. V's items. I grabbed the financial box first. What I found made me sick. Spreadsheets detailing how Mike and Richard had been skimming from their company for years. Client invoices with 2 versions, the real one and the one the client actually received, with the difference pocketed. No wonder Richard was so eager to buy me out. My phone buzzed. Speak of the devil. Morning, Sage. Just checking in. You doing okay? Actually, Richard, I'm at Mike's storage unit right now. Silence on the line. Then, storage unit. What storage unit? The one where he kept records of how you two were stealing from your clients. More silence. Then his voice changed completely. Listen carefully, Sage. You're grieving. You're confused. Whatever you think you found, it's not what you think. The Anderson account? The Miller Project? It's all here, Richard. You show those to anyone and I'll make sure everyone knows you were in on it too. Your signature is on company documents. Who do you think they'll believe? The grieving widow having a breakdown or the respected businessman who's known these clients for 15 years? He hung up. My hands were shaking as I opened the box marked V's items. Inside were photos, dozens of them time-stamped, Vanessa in my house when I wasn't home, pocketing my grandmother's jewelry, Mike's watches, even family photos. Another folder had screenshots of texts between Vanessa and Mike. "She'll never notice," Mike had written. "She thinks they're in storage after the remodel." I drove straight to Vanessa's house, the box of photos on my passenger seat. "What's all this about a storage unit? She didn't even invite me in." "Why were you taking things from my house, Vanessa? My grandmother's pearl earrings? Mike's father's watch?" Her face hardened. "You're not making any sense. Those things were gifts from Mike. He wanted me to have family heirlooms." "Then why are there photos of you sneaking them out when I wasn't home?" "Photos? What photos? Sage, I'm worried about you. First imaginary financial schemes, now this? Grief does strange things to people. Maybe you should see someone." "Don't gaslight me. I have proof." "Do you? Or do you have random photos your grief-addled brain is misinterpreting? I'm calling Ellie. You need help." I left, fuming. Back in the storage unit, I dug deeper and found a small metal box in the private container. Inside was another key, labeled First National, Box 473, and a slip of paper with just a phone number. No name. My finger hovered over my phone. Who would answer if I called? What else was Mike hiding? First National Bank opened at 9 a.m. sharp. I was waiting outside at 8:45, clutching the key like a lifeline. The manager led me to the safety deposit room, then left me alone with box 473. Inside were photos, intimate photos. Mike and Ellie, my husband and my best friend, in our vacation cabin, on our boat, even in our bed. The timestamps showed the affair had been going on for at least 2 years. My stomach heaved. I stuffed everything back in the box and ran to the bathroom. After splashing cold water on my face, I called the number from the storage unit. "Curtis Investigations. This is Sage Mitchell. My husband Mike had your number." "Mrs. Mitchell, I've been expecting your call." Detective Curtis was a no-nonsense man with salt and pepper hair and eyes that missed nothing. We met at a coffee shop far from my usual haunts. "Your husband hired me 6 months ago. He suspected something wasn't right with his business partner. I found more than he bargained for." He slid a folder across the table. Inside were surveillance photos of Richard, Vanessa, and Ellie meeting repeatedly at a restaurant downtown. "The day before your husband's accident, he told me he was going to confront them." "Accident? Are you saying—" "I'm not saying anything definitive, but the timing is suspicious. Back home, I noticed Ellie had been calling. I wasn't ready to face her yet. My doorbell rang around dinner time. It was Richard and Vanessa. "We're worried about you, Sage. Ellie said you've been making wild accusations." I left my phone recording in my pocket. "I'm fine. Just sorting through Mike's things." "Find anything interesting?" Richard's tone was casual, but his eyes were sharp. "Nothing worth mentioning." "Sage, we think you need help," Vanessa said, her voice dripping with fake concern. "You're imagining conspiracies, making accusations. It's not healthy." "Maybe we should consider temporary guardianship," Richard suggested, "for her own protection." "Exactly what I was thinking," Vanessa agreed. "Once we have legal control, we can make sure the house and business are properly managed." "And those documents she thinks she found? Who would believe her? We'll make sure they disappear, along with whatever else Mike might have left behind." After they left, I called Detective Curtis and played him the recording. "This is good, but we need more. We need them to implicate themselves completely." "What do you suggest?" "A situation where they feel comfortable enough to reveal everything. Somewhere they think is safe." An idea formed in my mind. "I know just the thing. A memorial dinner for Mike. 3 months since his passing, I'll invite them all to the house." "Perfect. We'll wire the place. Get everything on record." I sent the invitations that night. A special dinner to honor Mike's memory. Just family and closest friends. Richard, Vanessa, and Ellie. All the snakes in one basket. The dining room looked perfect. Mike's favorite flowers, his photo surrounded by candles, his preferred whiskey poured and waiting. Detective Curtis and 2 officers were hidden in the study, with monitors showing feeds from the cameras we'd installed. Ellie arrived first, hugging me too tightly. "You're doing so well, considering everything." Considering what exactly? Before she could answer, Richard and Vanessa walked in together. "Lovely setup, Sage," Vanessa said, eyeing the silver candlesticks I'd deliberately placed center stage, the same ones she'd stolen last month and I'd quietly retrieved from her house yesterday while she was out. Once everyone had a drink in hand, I raised my glass. To Mike, who taught me that the truth always comes to light. I clicked a remote. The dining room TV flashed on, showing security footage of Vanessa pocketing items from my home. "What is this?" Vanessa spluttered. "Your sticky fingers at work. Those candlesticks you're admiring? I took them back from your china cabinet yesterday." I clicked again. Financial documents appeared on screen. "Richard, remember telling me no one would believe me about the embezzlement? Turns out the forensic accountant Detective Curtis hired found everything. The Anderson account? The Miller project? You're looking at federal charges?" Richard lunged toward the door but found it blocked by a uniformed officer. "You're under arrest for embezzlement and making criminal threats," the officer said, cuffing him. Vanessa backed away. "This is ridiculous. You can't prove—" "I already filed police reports for every item you stole, but theft is the least of your crimes." I turned to Ellie. "Want to explain these?" The screen showed photos of her and Mike together. "Sage, I can explain. We never meant to—" "Save it. I found your texts planning to have me declared mentally incompetent. All 3 of you conspiring to steal my inheritance, my home, my company shares." "We were helping you!" Vanessa shrieked. "Helping yourselves. I have recordings of you and Richard discussing your plans to get guardianship of me. That's criminal conspiracy." Detective Curtis entered as a second officer led Vanessa away. "Got everything we need. The DA is filing charges tomorrow." Ellie collapsed in tears. "Sage, please. I loved him. I'm sorry." "Sorry you got caught. Get out of my house and don't come back. By the way, I emailed those photos to your boss at the hospital ethics board. Your psychiatric practice is finished." A month later, Richard was awaiting trial. Vanessa had been ostracized by everyone we knew, and Ellie's license was under review. I had one key left. It opened a safe deposit box at Citibank, one I hadn't known about. Inside was a letter from Mike, dated 2 days before his death. "Sage, by the time you read this, you'll know everything. I got in too deep with Richard. When I wanted out, things got dangerous. Ellie was a mistake I'll always regret. I've left evidence with Detective Curtis in case anything happens to me. I don't deserve forgiveness, but I hope you find peace. All my love, Mike." I folded the letter and walked out of the bank into the sunshine. For the first time in months, I felt light, free. Mike's final gift wasn't the truth. It was the strength I found in myself when everything else fell apart. What would you have done if you discovered your spouse's betrayal after their death? Would you have exposed everyone publicly like Sage did? Or would you have handled it differently? The line between justice and revenge can be so thin. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What was the most satisfying moment of Sage's revenge for you? If you enjoyed this story of sweet justice, hit that like button and subscribe for more revenge tales that will leave you satisfied. New stories posted every day about people who finally got what they deserved.